Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jada if you're new here, and I am doing yet again another declutter. I am really looking to curate my collection and really just have the collection of my dreams. So we're going to go through the fragrances that I'm getting rid of. Of course, they will be on Mercari. Feel free to make offers. I'm very flexible and I'm really just looking to get rid of these in my collection. So let's get right into the video. Before I begin, I do want to preface this with the fact that there's going to be a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances on this declutter. I really tried to get into them, and honestly, if I'm looking for an affordable fragrance, I'll probably just go grab a designer or look for another option, simply for the fact that I'm just really not meshing with Middle Eastern fragrances. Some of them are absolutely beautiful, and I do have a few that I'm keeping in my collection, but for the most part, I'm really just getting rid of most of them. They're really not my vibe, and I would rather just get an affordable fragrance from somewhere else. There's plenty of other options. If you guys would like, I'll go ahead and make a video on that. So if you see a lot of these are Middle Eastern fragrances, that's why. They're just not my vibe, not my jam. So for starters, I have Remas on here. It's already listed. That's why it's in the box. Very beautiful fragrance. The packaging is actually stunning. Let me go ahead and open this up for you guys. Very pretty packaging. This is from the niche Emarati line from Lattafa, and it's really pretty. It's really heavy, very luxurious, but it does smell a lot like Fame. I feel like this is a Fame by Paco Rabanne dupe, and it's nice, but there's nothing extraordinary about it. It's really it's just a normal fragrance, and it's just not something that I'm going to reach for when I have as many fragrances as I do. So it's time to declutter. So another fragrance that I'm going to be decluttering is Shaghaf Oud Tonka. Now, I actually was really hesitant about this because I do enjoy this scent, and I love the bottle. I love the color of the bottle, even if it doesn't go with the scent that's in here. But this is too powerhouse for me, for as spicy as it is. It's a dupe essentially of Velvet Tonka by BDK, but this is just really powerhouse. You definitely can overspray this one, which if you're looking for lasting power and major projection and everything, and you like that scent profile, this is great for you. But it is really just too powerhouse for me, if that makes sense. And it is a little bit spicy. It's spicy and powdery, and something about it just gives me a headache. And it may be for the simple fact that I oversprayed it, but that alone is enough to just turn me off of the fragrance. I have one or two not so great experiences with the fragrance. I'm definitely going to be more hesitant to wear it. But it was nice while it lasted. I enjoyed the experience, and it's a really pretty bottle. Shaghaf Oud Tonka by Swiss Arabian. So the next one was actually really hard for me to get rid of. But again, when I'm looking at my collection and looking at this one, there's never really going to be a day where I would pick this over another fragrance, but it does smell really nice. And this is Honor and Glory by Lattafa. Now, see, that still smells great, but I'm never gonna reach for it. But there's notes of creme brulee and pineapple, or it might be pineapple brulee, I'm not exactly sure. But it does smell really nice. It does smell really nice. But again, there's never going to be a day where I would want to wear this over another fragrance or feel like I would be able to wear it alone without layering. I did layer it with Mystic Sugar at one point. That was really pretty. And although I am hesitant to get rid of this, I feel like it's time to go, because I can love a fragrance and not be iffy on it, rather than hanging on to fragrances that I'm unsure of, you know? Okay, so next, still more Middle Eastern fragrances. Trust there's an end. So I have Ansaam Gold by Lattafa. I really wanted to keep this one just so I can, you know, compare and contrast and make a video to Oriana, but essentially they're 98% the same. I just noticed that Oriana's a little bit lighter and brighter, essentially, but you're not going to notice that unless you have them up side by side. Now this is a really nice floral marshmallow, almost clean laundry smelling kind of scent. It's really, really beautiful. I think the bottle is really nice, but I do have Oriana up there and it's just really kind of redundant in my collection. I do want to start getting rid of the redundant fragrances because I do have some fragrances that are redundant that aren't even Middle Eastern fragrances, but I just noticed that I gravitate towards the same type of fragrances and that's really unnecessary. So yeah. Next I have Qissa Pink. Now okay, so I like this fragrance. Very nice, easy reach, pink smelling kind of fragrance. Very girly, very feminine, very easy reach. I feel like this is fun and just very creamy, very beautiful fragrance. But again, there's never going to be a day where I'm like, yes, I want to wear Qissa Pink over everything else that I have. Not a bad scent by any means. I prefer this over Yara, which is actually going to be being decluttered as well. I wanted to compare the two, even though I've already had Yara previously. I just bought a smaller bottle again, and lo and behold, I'm going to be cluttering it again. But yeah, it's a really beautiful scent. Smells like pink, smells like fun. But yeah, it's just not for me. There's never going to be a day where I'm going to prefer this over another fragrance in my collection. Since I brought up Yara, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's basically for the same reason. It's for the fact that it does smell like Qissa Pink, and there's never going to be a day where I don't reach for where I would want to reach for this first. And also it's again the redundancy as well, and I prefer Qissa Pink anyways, and I'm still decluttering it. So yeah, this is just a little small bottle of Yara. I had the full bottle previously and I decluttered it, and then I was like, wait, I want it, and I'm going to be decluttering it again. I'm such a silly goose. I don't know why I do that. And the next fragrance that I'm decluttering is Soft. Yes, it has a cap. It actually just fell a few seconds ago while I was talking about Yara. This is a really nice, cheapy, very nice cheapy fragrance. It smells like pink sugar along with like a little sprinkle of lemon gourmand. It's a really sweet fragrance. For me, I did get a little bit of powderiness last time I smelled it. I don't know why that was the case. It might have just been my nose that day. I'm not exactly sure, but it didn't really vibe with me. And again, there's no need for it in my collection when I have as many lemon gourmands as I do. It just didn't make any sense. Okay, so we're gonna start moving on to other fragrances that aren't Middle Eastern. So I have Tonka Bean Tea Cakes by House of Gloi. It was so funny. Someone on Mercari actually messaged me the other night and was like, okay, what do you not like about it? And I was like, that's a good question. So essentially I told her, like, this is very, very strong. I don't know what's been up with me and like really, really strong fragrances. This is a really, really strong and very, very sweet Tonka fragrance. It definitely smells like sugary, and it's really, really powerhouse, and I feel like it's just too much for my nose. It might also be because one of my sons chooses to wear this a lot, and it's starting to make me ill smelling it all the time. So I just really don't want it in my collection. Again, there's so many other vanillas that I much prefer over this. It is a really nice, affordable fragrance. I feel like indie houses are the way to go if you're looking for affordability and quality. But it's just not something that I reach for personally over my other vanillas. Nothing wrong with it though. And L'Interdit. So I absolutely loved this fragrance when I first started my fragrance journey. I think it was one of my first designer fragrances. I got a sample from Sephora and I just fell in love. But nowadays, I just noticed that the tuberose in here is way too much for me. It's very forward, it's sweet. It's just kind of obnoxious, and it just really rubs me the wrong way every time I smell it. Every now and again I'll reach for it and I'll be like, oh, okay, this is nice. Now I probably won't wear it for at least another 4 or 5 months, and I just feel like it's gonna go bad if I continue to wear it like that. There's so many other designer fragrances that I would much prefer to wear. I haven't even tried the rest of the L'Interdit line, so that might be something that I would be open to doing. probably going into Sephora this time instead of buying full bottles. I'm definitely in my decant sample era and I'm very excited about that. So next I'm going to be talking about a fragrance that I have talked about on here before that I actually really liked at one point. Now this is Voce Viva Intensa. Very beautiful vanilla fragrance. It is mossy and I do believe there may be like some orange or some citrus in the opening, and then there's like a moss base, and it's just a really nice vanilla that's not gourmand. I think it has an orange flower or something like that, so if that's a flower that you prefer, I prefer an orange blossom in the mid. That is one of my favorite florals. It's a nice fragrance, but it's kind of, I don't want to say it's boring, but it almost is in a way. It's very easy reach and it's very fall winter appropriate. This would be like a perfect fall vanilla, but it's just not wowing me nowadays. I'm always itching to put something else on over it or change up my fragrance whenever I wear it. I did really like it at one point, but it's just not going to get the wear and love that it deserves. So next I have Tutu by Gritti. I honestly bought it for the bottle. I did sample it beforehand and it was kind of a meh when I sampled it, but I really just was so smitten with the bottle. Now this is a really nice girly feminine fragrance. It's giving me like coquette vibes. It's very powdery and girly, and it does really fit with the bottle and the name Tutu. I do think of like a ballerina, someone very graceful, very girly, baby pinks and bows and that kind of thing. And it's such a beautiful fragrance, but it's just not my vibe. I don't give those super girly vibes as much as I wish that I probably could be that feminine and that girly and very dainty and everything. That's just not the vibe that I give. That's just not my vibe. And I just don't think it fits with me. Very, very beautiful fragrance. Perfect for like a ballet teacher or someone who is into coquette, and very clean, girly vibes. But yeah, it's just not a me fragrance, and I really want my fragrance collection to reflect me as a person. Next, I have Dulce by Rosie. Absolutely loved this fragrance. I had a full travel I went through, and I do have a little bit of a dent in this bottle, but I don't know, I think I have a bad scent memory of overspraying and sitting in my lecture hall, and also it's just something about it is just kind of off for me now. I'm not sure if it's too woody for me now, but it's just not a vanilla I enjoy wearing. Also, one of my sons reaches for this a lot and it's kind of making me ill to smell all the time. But it's just not a vanilla I reach for anymore. It does smell like vanilla ice cream. It is really pretty. It's a nice vanilla ice cream fragrance and it's very gourmand, but I do think that there's something about it that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. It could be the woodiness, it could be the hinoki wood in there. I'm not exactly sure, but it's just not doing it for me anymore. Like I said, I have a ton of other vanilla fragrances and this is just not the one that I gravitate towards. This is the last fragrance that I'm going to be doing in this declutter video. I definitely have another one coming up soon. But this one slipped by me for some reason and I don't know why, but this is another Middle Eastern fragrance and this is Mughal for it. Now I have to show you guys the presentation on this one because I think this is what sold me. So you see this? Look at how it opens. Isn't that incredible, guys? Like, this could be my thumbnail. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, this is an incredible presentation. I absolutely adore it. The bottle is what got me. I was so in love with this bottle. It's one of the most interesting bottles I've ever seen. But this is such a nice, like, it's a nice warm, oh, see, this smells really nice. Okay, so it's warm, it's ambery, it's floral. I definitely detect like a pimento pepper or something like that. I think it's supposed to be inspired by Minuet et Demi. By, what is it, Fragrance du Bois, and I've never smelled that fragrance before. This is actually a really nice fragrance that I'm smelling it now. I might change my mind about this one. Maybe not though, but this is a really nice warm fragrance. I'm talking fast because my camera's about to die, by the way, but this is a really nice warm fragrance. It does smell a little bit, I don't want to say musky, but there's something not super thick and dense about it, even though you would expect it from this type of fragrance profile. I think it was done really well. I think that bottle is a work of art, the presentation's a work of art. But again, this is not something that I would reach for over my other fragrances. I've worn it before, and this is not a me fragrance. This is not something that I wear and feel super confident in. Maybe I need to wear it in actual cold weather and see how it performs. But honestly, I'm just not even interested in experiencing it in that way. I think somebody else could find a love in this, and I would much rather this go to somebody else that appreciates it for what it is. It is a really nice fragrance though, very nice presentation, and yeah, I like everything about it. It's just, it's not a love for me. So yes, this makes the end of my declutter. I'm sorry the end was kind of rushed. I'm like literally looking at the flashing battery on my camera and have been for like the last 5 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what you guys are decluttering and what you're not vibing with. How do you guys feel about Middle Eastern fragrances? I do kind of want to know what my audience likes in terms of fragrance. I know I have a lot of niche head friends on here, but how are you guys feeling about Middle Eastern fragrances? How do you feel about designer? What do you prefer? I've noticed that I'm starting to gravitate more towards designer fragrances again, and it feels kind of full circle because that's where I started. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate you guys so much, and as always, have a good day, night, wherever you are. I love you guys so much. Bye.